you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert
Well,
Bannon.
hi, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to us here on the Roundtable. We're here on Broadway World, Broadway Podcast Network, iHeart, and Spotify. Evan Oppenheimer, congratulations. I love peas and carrots. It takes me back to my childhood.
Thank you. Are you saying you love eating peas and carrots or
I love the film Peas and Carrots. I love eating peas and carrots. My father was just visiting. We made him peas and carrots. It is nostalgic for me, Evan. Why is the film called Peas and Carrots?
well, I can't give that away because it is a bit of a plot point where the main character goes into this world where everybody is constantly saying peas and carrots. Now, there are people in this world who immediately know what that means, but 99.9% of the world doesn't, and but they will gradually come to understand as the movie progresses. But I can't give it away.
You have made, I believe this is your eighth film that you have written and directed. Some of your films have won film festival awards, starred big Oscar-winning, award-winning superstars. When do these ideas come to you? When did peas and carrots start marinating in your brain?
Well, it's an interesting question. I'm a New Yorker. I guess you're a New Yorker as well, I assume, no?
I'm in my Yankee shirt here, Evan. I mean,
um, a lot of it's just walking around the city, like you see things and it sparks an idea. A lot of what this movie is about is the kind of notion that we're all starring in the movie of our own lives. And I guess I live on 14th Street, super busy street, and you see all these people walking around, and you kind of wonder, like, I think we all have that idea, are our lives movies? Are we the stars of our own movies? But if we are, then what about all those people who are walking on the street? Are they just extras in our movie? Or what about their own movies? Aren't they starring in their movies? And maybe I'm the extra. I think that was a big part of it. And then the second part of it is about this New York family. And my wife and I have three daughters. And, it's just that it's like the life of a New York family. This is a very particular New York family in that they were these kind of borderline rock stars from the 90s that had a band together. And then at some point I thought about that too. I love music. Music's a big part of my life. And I wondered what it would be like to have like one big hit and then 30 years later just kind of have that one big hit and what that would feel like. So that became a part of it too. There's a lot of different ideas that kind of came together.
that's so interesting. All of that is so fascinating to me. Firstly, one hit wonders, which is a part of this film, is such a fun topic because to hit it big and have that one big moment that now is forever anonymously tied to you for the rest of your life has got to be such a unique, interesting experience. Secondly,
Yeah. Yeah.
your deep question that there's a fancy scientific word my brother taught me, who's much smarter than me, about he one day pointed out to me, so, every car driving on this highway, there's a person in there that has a whole story and a whole family and a whole life and is going through something. And it's such a deep, overwhelming thing to think everyone on your block, everyone in your neighborhood has something going on. And now you to pull this all together is why we need to see peas and Are you that deep, Evan? Was that just as deep? Were you under the
Try,
full moon just contemplating life?
I really try not to be because life is much simpler when you can live on the surface, But sometimes you're lying in bed at night and you have these thoughts and you can't get rid of them. And then maybe you put them into a movie, or maybe you just you wake up your partner and you say, "Hey, what do you think?" Um, I don't know, but I think that's right. Like kind of stepping out of our like solipsistic shoes where everything revolves around us and thinking about the fact that everything doesn't revolve around us, and that's okay too. Like if you can get to that place, that's the big part of what the movie is about too, is you don't have to be the lead singer. That's like a big part of the, and I've made movies like this before. I made a movie called The Little Game largely in Washington Square Park, and the thrust of that movie was you don't have to win. Like we're so programmed that we have to win, but you don't have to win. That's not really what it's about. So this movie is like, she feels like she should want to be the lead singer. She should want to be the star of her own movie. But I don't think that's true. I don't think that's necessarily great. I mean, if you want to be, that's great. But if you don't want to be, like, why force yourself into that box?
Why? Well, you brought up your film A Little Game, everyone, which F. Murray Abraham, Ralph Macchio, a beautiful Olympia Dukakis. That film went viral like in 2023 with like millions and millions of people like clips posting to social media. Do you find that fascinating that now you can take a whole piece, like Peas and Carrots is its own movie? independently of its own. But now we live in a world where sometimes things are snipped up, cut up, posted on Instagram, posted on TikTok. The attention span is not always there. So how do you draw us in when you make a feature? We got to sit still now, Evan, for 90
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know which way the world is going, like maybe there won't be long movies in the near future. Maybe people will just be partaking of things in a shorter way. And that's okay. Look, if that's what happens, that's what happens. And we who are trying to provide entertainment and enlightenment, if I dare say it, we have to adjust to that. We got to give people what they're looking for. I mean, maybe you can push them a little bit, but you can't say, hey, you need to sit down and watch this for 10 hours straight, or you're a bad person. I'll tell you the one thing that I've come around to thinking that's not going away, and the one thing that I think is only going to get stronger, and that's live entertainment.
Hmm.
That's like Broadway, because people still want to see other people doing things. I think it's not so much with movies, because after all, we've all adjusted to animated movies, right? We can watch animated characters and really feel for them, and they're not real people. I mean, they're usually voiced by real people. But there's something about going and seeing a real person in front of you live that you can't make up. People aren't going to go and watch holograms perform live. That's not going to be the same thing. So I think live entertainment, as weird as it sounds, because you'd think that would be sort of what would have disappeared. But now I think that's what people are going to gravitate to. They're going to enjoy this, and maybe it'll be AI. They're going to enjoy the stuff on their phones or whatever, but they're going to really want to see people live and see music live too. I think that's going to be bigger than it has been for a while. But I don't know. That's my
No,
theory.
I think that's a fascinating point. I encourage people to, even when things are streaming, like Peas and Carrots, November 4th, streaming everywhere, and looking for something fun to do this weekend, you need to make sure you check out this film. It's out right now, people. Go stream it.
Thank you.
We need to laugh and we need to be able to sit down as a family or as couples or by yourself after a long work day. The world is literally on fire and crazy out here. We need something original and creative, and it's the artists like you that really give us that outlet. So, tell us a little bit about the cast, this incredible cast that you put together in this film that gets to say peas and carrots and dance around and the music. I mean, and who's playing the music? The Ramones are legends. Go ahead.
So, well, the music is a big part of it. Music, I love music. If I could have been a musician, I would have been a musician, but I wasn't. I wasn't good enough. So the music is super important. The main character is there's this family where the husband and the wife had a band, and the wife is still trying to make music, not so successfully, and that's a big part of it too. Is like as an artist, kind of trying to adjust to that, like what success means and how long you keep trying to do it. So that's kind of a big thing. But I was able to get some really amazing musicians involved. I got Marky Ramone, the last living member of the Ramones, like iconic New York band, obviously, and he co-wrote the ending song with me. And the opening song written by this guy from Ryan Miller from Guster, another band that I love. Not a New York band, but an awesome band. And then eventually I got Lee Ranaldo from Sonic Youth, another super iconic New York band, to be in the movie and also provide some of the music. So it was like, how awesome was that for me to like get music at the heart of this movie? And I just, after doing that, you're right. I think this is my eighth movie. I said from now on, any movies I make, music is going to be at the heart of it. I'm going to be like, because always music is always in movies. You always have the score, you always have stuff. But I'm like, I'm going to really make it not just an element, but like at the heart of every movie I make from now on, because it's so important to me.
Evan, how can you say you're not a musician? You wrote a song with Marky Ramone.
Also,
You got
like,
a keyboard and a guitar behind
hey,
you.
I mean, I'm an amateur musician, which is okay, right? Like in the old days, like hundreds of years ago, I remember, you'd see these movies and people would always have the harpsichord in the drawing room and everybody would know how to play. And they weren't professionals, but they were amateurs, but they were skilled and it was a big part of their lives. And that's great. You should have art as a part of your life and don't feel like, you need to be an expert at it. Don't feel like you need to be professional. Just enjoy doing it. So that's what I do with this stuff back here. I'm not done. There's a piano over there. Oh, there's the piano. Yeah.
See, the same thing with making movies and acting. Not everybody, this is no shade to you, Evan.
Mm.
Not everyone needs to go to Yale and NYU film school to be able to You don't have to be this fancy like this guy right here. You're an artist and you've got it in you. Just go out there and start doing it, and the rest could follow.
Yeah, I 100% believe that. And I just think the more we can make that a part of our lives, and maybe like, I mean, getting back to that AI thing we were talking about a minute ago, I mean, maybe that'll give us the freedom to do that. Like all the things that we kind of have to do that we don't necessarily want to do will be taken care of. And so we'll have the freedom to create art or to enjoy art or, whatever. That would be, that's like the rosy view of the future. And maybe, maybe it'll be true.
So this film with we'll talk about alternate universes and the future and what could be. Tell us about Kira Berger. Tell us about Amy, Jordan, the people that you've cast and found to take this to put this on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the actors. You have to have great actors, or you're not going to have a good movie. So we were casting the lead. The lead character in the movie is a 16-year-old girl in New York. So we were casting it, and we saw some people who were actual 16-year-old girls, and the producers were like, "Please don't cast a minor, because if you work with a minor, you have restrictions. You can't do that many hours in a day." But I told them, listen, we're going to cast the right person, and if it's a minor, so be it. Well, we'll figure out how to make it work. But Kira Lee was the one. When I saw it, the very first time I saw her, I was just blown away. And we had her come back. She's from New Jersey, but lives out in LA. So she put herself on tape a couple times, and then she came to New York, and we did some auditioning in New York, and it was just clear to me that she was the right person. And she's a wonderful human being. She's such a giving person. She's so humble and open. And she was friends with like everybody in the movie, from like the greenest production assistant to like the executive producer. She just treats everybody exactly the same, which is amazing. And she works super hard. And when I say she's a trooper, she proved it. She broke her ankle in this movie. We were shooting for a week, and she was getting into an Uber in the city. It wasn't on set, and she slipped on ice. She broke her ankle, and she showed up that day. And the producer said, "Oh, you got to go see Kira Lee." And I went to see her, and she had her leg up, and her ankle was like this. Her ankle was giant. And she said, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine." I said, "You are not fine. We got to get you to urgent care." So we took her to urgent care. Well, turns out she had a broken ankle. And then it turned out she needed surgery. So we had to we didn't have to take. She was worried that I might just replace her and she was somebody else, but I never even thought about that, because she was the right person. And having been through this a few times before, I'm not in a rush. I don't need to get it out in the world. The important thing is to get it as good as possible. So it was, I said, "No, I'm going to wait for you. You're going to get yourself better." And it ended up being a full 6 months because she required surgery. So we took 6 months off, and then we came back and we shot the rest of the movie 6 months later when she was well enough to do that. So that was crazy. Amy Carlson, she's a Brooklynite. I actually already knew Amy. I met her on the beach at Fire Island through mutual friends randomly. But she knew that world really well because her husband was in the late night band for Seth Meyers for many years. He had played plays in a rock band, and he was on the late night band for many years. So she really knew that world and was very eager to be a part of it. Jordan Bridges I didn't know, but he was amazing. He was actually the very first person I saw audition for that part. And I saw him do it. He did this audition. He read the lines, and I watched him. I was like, "Wow, I wrote a good movie." Then I saw the next audition. It was somebody else, and the lines were terrible. I'm like, "Oh, I wrote a bad movie." But it's just how good he was. And so, I mean, it's very rare the first person you see is the person you end up casting. But he is so good and so natural. So I loved having him, and everybody that's like got to meet a bunch of super cool new actors. These great New York actors. Great thing about making a movie here is you end up with New York actors, and they're the best.
I love this cast. I love this premise. It is going to be something fun and unique and something you got to check out when you come. Who should watch this? Who do you hope is the audience?
Well, it's a good question, because like when you make a movie about a kid like that, like we were talking about a little game. There's a little game that wasn't about an 11-year-old girl in New York, but it was also about her parents. Ralph Macchio and Janine Garofalo were her parents, and F. Murray Abraham was was kind of her mentor. So I wanted it to be good for everybody, And I felt the same way with this movie. This movie is about a 16-year-old girl in New York. So I thought, well, maybe older kids will be interested in that as well. But it's also about her parents. So when we were making it, we're thinking it's for everybody. But then when you start to market it, you can't really market a movie to everybody. It doesn't work the way, unless maybe it's like a Marvel movie. So you have to say, okay, who are we going to target? And then hopefully they bring along the rest of the family. So in this case, they're kind of targeting kids of various ages. And I'm hoping that they'll watch it with their family, and everybody will get something different out of it, because it is designed to work for everybody. So that's the hope, is that families will watch it together and everybody will enjoy it and pick up different things to appreciate.
Well, I'm telling you right now, everybody, this film is for everybody. So you don't need a 16-year-old. You don't need a kid to watch it. Bring your kids, bring your family, bring your grandparents, bring everybody. Come on into the living room, order yourself a pizza this weekend, and make sure you check out Peas and Carrots when it's out and about. I have two confessions to make, Evan.
Mm.
One, I'm a fake New Yorker because I'm from Fort Lee, New Jersey. So don't judge me, Evan. We started off with a lie. I started off lying to you already. I felt I couldn't keep it. Secondly,
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Fort Lee is like
it's
basically
close.
in New York.
I could walk to New York. I have.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. If you're gonna give me some New Jersey honesty, I'm going to give you some New Jersey honesty.
Okay.
You shot most of this movie in New Jersey.
See, Evan. See, I knew what being honest was going to bring us closer. I knew it was the right decision. Okay. So Jersey, New York, everyone across the country, what you got to do is make sure you check out this film. And you have more work coming. I see that there's more things. You're always tinkering away, writing. So we could be following and staying up to date with all the things that Evan Oppenheimer's got up his sleeve for us. I'm excited for people to check this out. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been so nice chatting with you.
I hope you all check out Peas and Carrots. Even if you don't like peas or carrots, this film has there are no, it doesn't mean you gotta like Peas and Carrots to like the film, but it caught my attention for sure, Evan. Looking forward to it. Thank you for being here.
All right. Thank you.